Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be doing a video about Nio. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome content. Join the family, guys. Let's go on our investor journey together. So today we're going to be talking about Nio, currently sitting at $43.77. Is now a good time to buy Nio stock? Obviously, everything I say in my videos is not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion. But diving in a little bit deeper and really taking a look about Nio stock in itself, I think Nio is an absolute buy at these prices, right? Currently sitting at $43.81. If you guys don't know what Nio actually does, Nio is an EV company that's based out of China. They produce luxury EV cars. Now, Nio has been on a pretty steady kind of growth over the last year. So if we take a look at the one-year chart, it's up 1,700%, which is absolutely amazing to think that this stock was trading around $3 a share April 21 of 2020. And now it's currently sitting at $43. Now, if you take a look at the 1 month chart, though, Nio is still down 21% of its value. And this kind of just happened to do with a lot of the EV stocks kind of took a small correction, right? A lot of them kind of did pull back, whether it was Tesla, Lucid Motors, Nio, XPeng, Li Auto. All these big time EV companies just kind of had a small correction. I think it was just like a little bit of a rotation out of it. People kind of going for kind of safer, longer term plays. I think the reason they do this is because people do see that stocks like airlines and cruises and all these other types of stocks are kind of on a steady recovery. But guys, I do not want people to be selling out of Nio stock right now. Now is not a good time to be selling out of Nio stock. If anything, now is a very good time to actually be picking up Nio stock because this stock is an absolute bargain at these prices. The reason I say this, I just think I look at Nio as a company, I look at Nio's projection, I see how fast they're actually growing, and I just see this $43 price tag here, and it just does not reflect what Nio is actually supposed to be. Now, if we dive in a little bit deeper and we take a look, Nio has been on a pretty good path of projection to grow. They're expanding into Europe by the middle of this year, so Nio already expanding to other markets is just absolutely brilliant. It's innovative, and it's exactly what Nio needed. Like I said, based out of China, the first thing you do want is to start expanding out of your own territory. This does give more brand recognition, and this also does strengthen the overall name of your company, the types of cars and stuff like that as well. And there's also rumors that Nio is moving over to the United States. Now, that has not actually been confirmed, but I think if Nio continues to grow the way it's been growing over the last year, I think Nio could possibly hit the United States probably within the next 5 years. I know it's a long shot, but I do want people to understand as well, if you're buying Nio stock, you have to be looking here at the long term, where the stock could actually be next year, the next 2 years, the next 3 years. And the reason I say this is because it takes time for companies to actually overall evaluate itself. We got a dive of Nio's earnings the last time around, and yes, the company is not profitable, but they're getting pretty close. If you've checked all their cash margins, all their cash flows, they all turn positive, which is a very good sign for Nio that Nio is headed in the right direction, that Nio is going to be profitable way sooner than it took Tesla to hit profitability. If you guys didn't know, it took Tesla about 15 years to hit a profitable quarter. Nio is probably going to do that a lot quicker. The reason that is, it's not that Nio is a better company or anything like that. It's just due to the simple fact that the EV market now is more explosive. The growth is there, and more people are kind of turning more towards battery power. They think that battery power is going to lead us into the future, and I absolutely agree with this 100%. But even taking a look at just Nio as a company in itself, guys, they're dropping an ET7 sedan. They plan on dropping another sedan, a couple of more of SUVs. So the fact that Nio is working very hard to grow its overall product line shows that, it's trying to reach all sorts of clientele. Plus, now that they're expanding into Europe, this is definitely going to boost its overall sales, and it's going to start selling more cars, which is just absolutely amazing. Nio, like I said, also working on a self-autonomous driving technology. A self-driving chip is probably the biggest race for a lot of EV stocks right now. A lot of people do want to make sure that they can incorporate an autopilot feature in their vehicles, and Nio is doing a very good job of this right now. Nio is working very hard. They're providing a bigger and better battery that gives longer range, longer and fuller charge. But what really differentiates Nio as a company in itself is its battery as a service. The fact that a customer who drives a Nio vehicle can stop by at any one of these battery swap stations, swap out their battery if their battery is low on charge in just 3 minutes, and then continue on their way. It's not only innovative, and it's not only a great thing that separates itself from the competition, but it also lowers cost of ownership to the actual customer itself. It's just absolutely brilliant and innovative. For me, I do think that Nio Stock is hitting $100 by the end of the year, without a doubt. I know it's kind of a long shot. A lot of people have been kind of saying, like, Nio hasn't really been doing much. Taking a look at the 1 week chart, down 2.6%, but the stock has kind of been trading sideways. I mean, the stock hasn't really been going anywhere. I want people to understand that no bullish sentiment has changed about Nio Stock, or even Tesla stock, or even any of the EV companies in themselves. There was a small rotation out of the EV sector, but people are slowly going to rotate back in. It's Nio's job right now to continue putting up good sales numbers. It's Nio's job right now to make sure that its brand is getting known all around the world. And even you have a lot of analysts, Deutsche Bank, JP Morgan, all holding Nio shares. So if big time analysts are supporting the stock in themselves, this is also a very good sign. These big time analysts, they've been doing this for a very long time. If they see a growth stock and they're recommending it to people, or they're putting high price targets, there's probably good reason on why they're doing it. But these investors are trained to think longer term, right? They're not short term investors. They're not, okay, I want to buy the stock for a week, sell for a quick profit, and then kind of rinse and repeat, which is still a good trading strategy, and people still can't do it. But big time analysts always like to look at the long term, right? So when they're investing, they always look about the next 5 to 10 years where the actual stock could be in themselves. And that's honestly what investing is all about, having the patience to really weather the storm of the ups and downs. The day-to-day transactions don't really matter that much when you're buying a stock, because you want the stock to be growing for a very long time. Even a Deutsche Bank analyst came out and said, now is a very good time to start buying the EV leaders, whether it be Nio, whether it be Tesla, because these brands right now are the absolute biggest, right? Competition is heating up. Companies know this. A lot of EV companies know that competition is heating up. You have regular car makers like Ford, Volkswagen, Nissan, all trying to perfect an EV car, and people saying even Volkswagen can start to compete with Nio and Tesla within the next year. So it's very tough to see, how Nio's actually going to be able to do this. But like I said, Nio's battery as a service is probably one of its most innovative features, and it really separates itself from the competition. This is why I think that Nio stock is an absolute must buy. Nio is growing very quickly. I think the growth is going to be happening for a very long time. And if you take a look at China, they're expected to grow 50% in the next 10 years as far as the EV market goes in itself. So stocks like Nio, XPeng, Li Auto are going to be growing substantially. I think that right now is a very good time to pick up Nio stock. I think the stock right now is currently sitting at a cheap enough price where it's actually a bargain. This is like a free year to buy Nio. A lot of people were buying Nio stock at $60, $65, $70. And I can understand why, because the stock was doing so well, but the bullish sentiment has not changed. Nothing has changed about Nio as a company. They're still putting up good sales numbers. They're growing every single day. They're trying to perfect all the kinks in their company by making a bigger and better battery. They're dropping new vehicles. They're working on the self-driving chip, and they're working on putting battery swap stations all around China. Very difficult thing to do, and it also takes time. This is why when it comes to investing, it's a patience game. But guys, Nio stock could be $300-$400 in the next 5 years. You do not know where this stock is going to go from here. People say that's crazy, or that's just clickbait or whatever. But if we take a look at the 1 year chart, if I told you guys that Nio was going to grow by almost 2,000% in 1 year alone, most people probably wouldn't have believed that either. It's really just understanding why you're bullish about the stock in the first place, not just because everybody is buying it. If you really look at the business fundamentals of Nio, the company is doing absolutely amazing, and I think it's an absolute must buy at these prices. I think right now is a very good time to be picking up Nio stock, because the EV market is only growing more every single day. You see all these regular car makers now trying to jump into the EV market, because they also know that the EV market is going to be growing for a very long time. The next 10, 15 years, you don't know. There could probably basically no more gas-powered cars. So really diving in a little bit deeper and taking a look about what Nio actually offers as a company, it's an absolute steal at these prices. I think Nio is going to be the EV giant of China. I think that Nio is going to be a main competitor to Tesla, and possibly the next Tesla as well. With that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. Let me know down in the comments section below, guys, what you think of Nio stock. Do you guys think Nio stock is hitting $100 by the end of this year? If you guys own Nio stock, how many shares do you guys own, and what's your average? I'm always very curious to know. With that being said, guys, thank you. Have a great day.